So we're going to be talking about a lot of things today, really anything you want to talk about. And the stance that we are wanting to help you to discover and practice, the concept that we want you to acknowledge and understand until it is your knowing, is that you have a point of attraction that you have control over, and that you control your point of attraction by caring about how you feel and by focusing yourself into alignment with what feels best. Sometimes you want to take action that seems to line things up in a faster way. And of course, action is often inspired. But we want to help you to understand that if you will focus upon your basis of attraction by paying attention to the way you are feeling, that you will understand this concept of deliberate creation. And you will then be that deliberate creative genius who you intended to be as you came forth into this physical body and this magnificently balanced time-space reality. You said, I'll go forth and I'll sift and sort and I'll come to my own conclusions. And when I come to a decision about what I think would be better, I will give that my undivided attention. I will no longer justify why I want that by pointing out how bad that is. And as I practice the thought of what I want, it will become such a vibrational habit for me. That's all a belief is. A belief is just a vibrational habit. It's a thought you keep thinking. It will become such a vibrational habit for me that as I emanate that vibrational signal, law of attraction will bring things to me that match that. And of course, that makes sense, doesn't it? You sort of get it. You've been mixing it up. You get that what you think about comes to you. It shows up fast enough that it's not a big mystery anymore. You don't call yourself lucky or cursed anymore. You say, When something wonderful would happen to Esther, she would say, I did that. And when something not so wonderful would happen, she would say, I did that too. Don't tell anyone. But once you get the hang of this, once you begin to make the association between what you're thinking and how you're feeling and what's coming back to you, then you begin to get your sea legs. Then you begin to be a deliberate creator, a conscious, deliberate creator. What's your attention on? How you feel. Not the thought that caused the feeling, how you feel. Because if you focus on how you feel, then you're tending to your grid. If you're tending to your grid, the details will fill in, and when they do, you can focus on them. Ooh. Finally, we've got creation turned around in the way that it always has meant to be by the laws of the universe, yes? The thought causes the feeling, but when you focus on the feeling, then the thought comes. That's what attraction is. There's no assertion. It's all attraction. It's about preparing yourself vibrationally. It's like, I'm going to ready myself for the manifestations I seek. That's what the best description of deliberate creation is. I'm going to vibrationally ready myself for the filling in of the grid. You can get yourself into a general enough place, just chewing with us. In other words, as we're having this conversation, it's happening on many more levels than a verbal level. It's a vibrational thing that's going on. And so your vibration is raising and raising and raising and raising and raising. Your grid is drastically improved as a result of focusing in an arena like this. And so then, as you are just paying attention to the grid filling in, and you are making the association between what came and how you felt before, now you've got it, you see. But if you're just blundering around, observing, creating grids, not being aware that you're creating them, not knowing one from the other, just knowing that life is up and down, and stuff's happening, and you're not able to make any association between what flowed into what grid and how that grid felt while you were making it, that's creating by default. Deliberate creating is so much more delicious. Years ago, we introduced the idea of pivoting. Pivoting, which means the other end of the vibrational stick. When you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. But the question is, when you know what you don't want, are you actively involved in the vibration of what you don't want? Or are you actively involved in the vibration of what you do want? So when you know what you don't want, if you don't have enough money, what do you find yourself talking about mostly? Plenty of money? Not usually. You could, and it would be just as easy. If you're sick, what do you find yourself talking mostly about? Oh, my head hurts. You're mostly talking about what is. And that really is what we want to stir up a little bit in this conversation that we're having here today. Do you want to talk about what is? If what is great, yes, yes, yes. Lists of positive aspects could not be a more valuable process for you. Rampages of appreciation, there's no tool that will serve you more. There is nothing better for you than to talk, focus, feel about the things in your world that are the way you want them to be. But those things that you identify as not the way you want them to be right now, you want to get off of them. Jerry used to tell a story, and Esther loved it because it was so explicit and made so much sense. She could see it right away. And when she held it in her consciousness, it served her. He said, sit in front of a fireplace. He lived in Arkansas at the time that he discovered this analogy. And there's a chinkapin log on the fire. Esther had never known what one of those was. She's still not sure she's ever seen one, but apparently when they are on fire, they pop a lot. So they are shooting sparks off at whoever is nearby. And he said, so you're sitting there with your beautiful new cashmere sweater, and a spark comes right to you, and he says, if you in that moment just flick it off, nothing happens to your beautiful sweater. But if you're distracted and don't notice, and you allow it to linger, then there is a bigger impact on your sweater. And his analogy is, when the thought first comes, and it's small and insignificant, and you flick it off by choosing another thought, it's simple. But if you allow it to smolder, if you allow it to grow, if you engage in conversations with others about it, if you write it in your diary, if you blog about it, if you write home about it, if you call that friend who always wants to know what's going on, and you tell them what's going on. In other words, are you ready to let go of more of what is on your way to where you're going? When you're driving down the highway, and it's a beautiful day out there, and you have this magnificent windshield, you just washed it, the day is bright, you're looking out ahead, or do you have your windshield installed in your floorboards? Or do you spend all of your time looking in your rearview mirror? The analogy is silly in that regard because you know what would happen if you were just looking down at the road while you were going. If you were just looking at what is, you wouldn't get very far down the road. If you're looking in your rearview mirror, you wouldn't get very far down the road either, would you? There are all kinds of things in the works for you. All kinds of things helping you live the life that you want to live. In other words, in the precise category of things are always working out for you. But how do you think that is? Lots of times it's an inspiration of somebody next door to make the phone call. Lots of times it's something that is just coming. In other words, your vortex is full of everything that you want. And your grid, which we're going to talk a lot about here today, is your point of attraction. And as things are flowing from your vortex into your grid, there is a momentum. That's what inspiration is. That's the details filling in. All of those things are things working out for you. But when you get freaky and you start saying, I'm the creator of my own reality and I'm responsible for everything that goes right, yay, and I'm responsible for everything that goes wrong, less yay. Boo, I'm responsible for my own life experience. We want you to relax and have more fun and loosen up and follow your intuition. And most of all, and this is the point that we're making, the most important point that we make all day or ever, for the likes of you deliberate creators. There are two ways for you to know how your vibration is. In other words, your guidance system really is about the vibrational variance between who you have become because of all you've lived and what's in your vortex. In other words, you know what you don't want, you know what you do want. Those do wants, what I do want is going into this vortex. And the vortex is being held, it's being contained, it's being monitored, it's being managed, it's being known, it's being adored, it's being lived by your inner being. And so who you have become is standing in a vibrational state. And your point of attraction, which is what we are calling your grid, is your conscious readying yourself for the law of attraction based flowing, meaning it's got to match what's in your vortex and what you want, and who you're being and how you're feeling has to be a vibrational match so that who you are can flow seamlessly into your experience. The art of allowing is figuring out which things deserve your undivided attention and which things don't. And your emotions are your very valuable key to that. And then once you have decided what you actually want to give your attention to, that you want to focus upon until it becomes an active belief within you. You see, when you give your attention to something, it's vibrating. And when you give your attention to it for a little while, it vibrates with more stability within you. And when something vibrates with stability within you, now it has attraction power, and it will show itself to you in more and more vivid, real ways. So once you have decided, well, this is something that I want to come to me in more vivid ways, then give it your attention. But if it is not something you want to come to you in more vivid ways, you must distract yourself from it. So some say, okay, I'm not going to think about that thing anymore. We say, what thing? That thing you're thinking about? Yeah, that thing over there that I'm thinking about, I'm not going to think about that thing anymore because I don't want that thing that I don't want to come into my experience anymore. I don't want to think about that thing that I'm thinking about. And we say, well, how are you going to deactivate it? How do you deactivate a vibration within you? You don't do it by looking at it and saying, I'm deactivating you. Because what you look at is more fully, more further activated. So how would you deactivate yourself from that thought? Think another one. Look someplace else. But then you say, it's really hard to turn my attention very far away from that. And we say, we know it is because it's active and the things that are around you are a lot about that. Might be different faces, might be different places, but they are behaving pretty much the same way because it's active within you. So how are you going to deactivate a vibration within you? Well, it's simple. Simpler than you know. If you meditate, you stop thought. That's a good plan. When you sleep, you deactivate it for a while, but when you wake up, you pick it right up where you last left it. You could deliberately try to change your thought about it, but that's a little bit harder because you really only have access to thoughts that are somewhere in the vicinity. But you could gradually move to a better feeling place, gradually. Or you could take the subject that is causing you the negative emotion, because that's how you know it's one you want to let go of, yes? You could take the subject that you are feeling negative emotion about, and you could become vague about it. General about it. You know how your kids do when they don't want you to know what's up? Aren't you just amazed at how vague they can be? I don't really know. I haven't actually thought about that. I don't remember. Yes, you do. I know you remember. I know you remember, you say to them, because you've been extracting specifics from them for a while. But we're wanting you to let them off the hook. We're wanting you to let yourself off the hook. We're wanting you, if you're feeling negative emotion, to teach yourself the art of vagueness. I don't really know. I haven't really thought about that. I don't really have time to think about that right now. I don't need to think about this right now. It'll be all right. Don't worry about it, Mom. Don't worry about it. It'll be all right. We want you to adore your vortex and to know what it represents. And we want you to understand your grid and line up with it. But we want you to joyously explore. And when you get this, in other words, if you believe that it is a really scary world out there, and that in your house with the big V on the door, this vortex house, that it's safe in there. And so you just stay in that safe house where only nice things are ever said. And you never explore. Oh, isn't that a sad picture? Don't you want to get out there? But you say no, because it's dangerous out there. I'd rather be safe in here than out there when there's danger. And we say, but what if? What if you could go out there and you could have a vibrational frequency around you where you attract the best of everything that's out there wherever you are? And you say, yeah, I choose that option. And we say, then you got to practice yourself into that. But there's just one thing you got to know. You're not always going to be there, because the exploration automatically means that you're going to be in some situation.